3, write expressions. So basically, most of these are going to be like a verbal expression. So it's going to be like something written out in words, and they're going to want us to rewrite it in like mathematical symbols. Pretty short section overall. But translating verbal phrases. So we've got the operation is addition, or this is the first one. And we would be looking for words like sum, plus, total, more than, increased by, or something of the sort. I'm sure there's some that I'm missing, but those are the main ones. Subtraction. Words that we're looking for here are difference, less than, minus, decrease by, and obviously they could just flat out say subtracted by or something like that, but obviously that one's a little bit more obvious. Multiplication, words like times, product, multiplied by, of, something like that. And then lastly, division. Words like quotient, divided by, or divided into. That one's not quite as common, but divided by is usually what we hear. And sometimes they'll pair like multiple of these things together as well. So a verbal model basically is used to describe a real world situation using words and like basically with as like a label and then some sort of math symbol or like the related words of that so that we can write out a mathematical model of something. And then a rate, that's the other stuff in this section, is a fraction that compares two quantities measured in different units. So something like miles per hour, feet per second, stuff like that would be a rate. Miles per hour is like the most common one that you see probably. And so sometimes like when we're doing conversions, that's what we'll use, or we'll have rates as part of that. So to jump into some problems, translate the verbal phrase into an expression. So we've got the product of 6 and a number y So what operation am I using with this one? It says product. Yep, multiplication, so it will be 6 times y. If you just write 6y, I think we talked about that the other day, you can do that without them, without having to put the little multiplication symbol in there. If it's like a number and a letter. 50 divided by a number h. So that's, obviously, that one's pretty self-explanatory. This one's division. And so this one would be 50 over h. Ten. 3 less than the square of a number p. Any ideas what I need for this one? Just say it. Yep, 3 less than the square of a number p, so that means that p is being squared, and 3 is being subtracted from that. Um, 12, 5 more than 3 times a number w. What 2 operations am I using on this one?
Multiplication and addition.
Yep, multiplication and addition. So 3 times the number w, that would be our multiplication. And then 5 more than that, we add 5. And if you write the 5 in front, if you write 5 plus 3w, that's also fine. It does not matter the order. Usually we put numbers that have variables in front and then numbers that don't have variables at the end, but that's up to you how you want to do it. Any questions on those ones so far? Have we done this before? It's kind of boring. Okay. So these next couple are going to be more of a situation. So they're going to give you more of a life example, and then you're going to write the equation that goes with it. So 16, the number of pages of a 5-page article left to read if you have read P pages. Any idea how I would have to write this one?
5 minus p.
5 minus P, yep. Let's see if we can figure this one out. Number of hours in m minutes. Any guesses about this one? You can just say it.
M over 60.
M over 60, yep. Where'd you get the 60 from?
There's 60 minutes in an hour.
Yep, good. Okay, they want us now to use the rates that I was talking about earlier, and we're going to convert everything to feet per second. So we're going to convert to feet per second. So if you do, y'all probably know this, but if you do the little slash, that means like per, to give you a rate. So the first one that they give us is 300 yards per 1 minute. So I need to convert yards to feet and minutes to seconds. So I do what they call like a T-table, which you'll see in science. If you've done any conversions before, you may or may not have done them this way. But I think that this is like I think it's easier because you can check your units to make sure that you get everything. So how many feet are in a yard? 3. So I've got 3 feet in 1 yard. And then normally you would do this and then you'd have to do minutes to seconds, but with a T-chart you can do the whole thing all at the same time. How many seconds are in a minute? 60. So I'll put the 1 minute up here and 60 seconds on the bottom. Now the reason that I do it like this is because then I can look and see if my units cancel. So, and I have, this is almost like the top and bottom of a fraction. I have yards here and I have yards here, so those cancel. I had minutes down here and I have minutes up here, so those cancel. So the units that I'm left with are feet over seconds, which is what I was trying to get to. So now I need to multiply 300 times 3 and divide it by 60. Have y'all been taught the trick that if you have like 300 over 60, you can just cancel the zeros out? Okay, good. Sometimes I have people that have never seen that before and they're always like fascinated to see that. And then obviously I don't want to forget this is all times 3. Is there anything else I could cancel? I basically right now have 30 times 3 over 6. Or reduce, I guess cancel might not be the right word, but reduce.
3 and 6.
3 and 6, yep, I could do that. So that would be, give me a 2, so now I have 30 over 2. And what does that equal to? 30 divided by 2. 15. Yep, so the answer would be 15 feet per second. Don't know why that's doing that. Any questions on that? I know that's probably different. I'm going to do another one, but have you done something like this before? Finally something new? And if you're like, I just want to convert my yards to feet and then my minutes to seconds, and then I just know that like I've got it, that, I mean, you can do that too. I think this is easier, but it's totally up to you. All right, the next one, number 24, is 180 miles per 2 hours, or in 2 hours. Anybody know a conversion that I can use that will get me to either feet or seconds? I obviously have to do both, but does anybody know how many feet are in a mile?
5,280.
Yep, 5,280. So there's 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Does anybody know how many seconds are in an hour?
1,200.
A little bit more than that. Triple that.
3,600.
Yep, 3,600. But if you didn't know that, that's okay. We could also go hours to minutes. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. And then 1 minute is 60 seconds. And we could do it that way also. and that's totally fine. I just like seeing who knows how many seconds are in an hour. It's good conversion to know, though. All right, so checking my units, miles are going to cancel, so I'll be left with feet. And then hours cancel, minutes cancel, and I'm left with seconds, so I'll end up with feet per second. Now, I'm going to cancel out my zeros here, so I have a 0 here and a 0 here. 1 here and 1 here, so that I can reduce that down a little bit. So basically right now I have 18 times 5,000, or not 5,000, 528 divided by 2 times 6 times 6. Do y'all want to just multiply and then divide, or do you want to reduce it first? I don't care, it's up to y'all. I like to reduce. I'm going to reduce. How many times does 6 go into 18? 3. So I'm going to change that to a 3. I don't know if 6 goes into 528. I'm sure it does, but at this point, we'll just do it like this. Good old-fashioned long division. Oh no, it disappeared. So that equals 132 feet per second. Is that what everybody else got? Or are you just taking my word for it? I'm gonna check and make sure. Okay. Any questions on this stuff? Oh, so quiet. I feel like I'm never gonna know if you have a question. All right, problems then for this section. Not too many, obviously. 3, 9, 11, 17, 21, 23, and 25.